So why do your animals fight a lot? Why do your animals fight a lot? This subject I'll be addressing in this video today. If you are not very experienced in this side of farming, you may not understand what I'm talking about. But if you're experienced, you will understand that it's a very vital place of focus. So if your animals, if you've been into this for a while, your animals could actually fight, injure themselves, or kill themselves. Thank you for that. That's actually mild. That's mild compared to the kind of fight we're talking about. But they are all these are mild fights. If you see when they're actually fighting, they can kill themselves. So these are some of the things that causes that, and how do you solve that? So because what we do on this channel is majorly to try and offer solutions to all these major challenges that you may face in pig farming. All right, let's delve right into it. So if you research on list of animals that are territorial, this is actually one of those animals. They are actually very territorial, and sometimes it's survival of the fittest. And that's why you as a farm manager, you have to learn how to manage that. Those are some of the things, management skill you must learn. So now there are three main, or probably should I categorize as three? But let me just talk about some reasons why animals do fight. Number one is that if the space is not conducive enough, you may get your animals fighting. If the space is not conducive, now this is not going to be the issue in a place like this because we have just 5 animals here. But there are some if you see some other farms where you tend to want to, they want to maximize their space, so they put a lot of animals in one place. Now, just like we humans, if you have congestion, if you have seen this happen before, where there is congestion, there is always a tendency for aggression. So you want to minimize the number of animals in a place. That's one of the ways to solve it. If there is congestion, you may get animals getting aggressive. Now, number 2 reason why your animals may be fighting may be because of feed resources. It could be either food or water. Of course, you understand. You can use the comparison with human to also understand this what is going on here. If you have limited food resources in their pen, if you have seen that happen before, and they have to compete for feeding on that limited feed resources, then it will then come on to survival of the fittest. Whichever animal is the strongest will get to hit the most. So the way to solve that is that you need to ensure that, number one, you're feeding them with a good amount of feed that will suffice for all of them, and you should also try and space out the food as much as you can. You don't want to drop the food in just one place, because if they all have to put their head in just that one place, there's going to be a lot of issues there. The same thing goes for their water. Of course, if the water is consistent and constant, they will drink and leave. But if, for instance, let's say there is a lack of water and you then put water in a particular small place or in a particular place, and the place is not conducive for the number of animals you have, you will get a lot of struggle, a lot of fight, a lot of push, a lot of aggression in order to access that water. So that's why you have to manage all this properly, where you space out your food, you ensure there is consistent water supply. And now, one other thing that can lead to this aggression that you may see among these animals that lead them to fighting is if you introduce animals that are not known. Like, you see, as these animals are coexisting together now, it's actually because they've been together for a while. So if you go on to now bring even an animal that is even bigger than these ones or smaller than these ones, or even if it's the same size but just not known, if you understand territorial attitude, just an animal, especially when you have the males, there are many reasons why territorial attitude comes up. It could be because of food, as I've mentioned earlier. It could be because of this issue around a male trying to be in charge of the females there. So will you call it an alpha male now being in an environment, and you bring another male in? You obviously understand that alpha male will want to exercise territorial dominance in that place. So you want to be careful, especially around the male. The females are sometimes not, of course they are not, sincerely I would not excuse them. Also, they also have territorial attitude, but you may get more from males, especially when there are females present, if you can understand that. So, and then other thing may not also be, it may not be about gender, it could be about size. So if you bring a smaller animal here now, that small animal may be in real trouble. And the way this thing goes is that they will fight till the finish. They fight till they get till they see blood. You can't, I don't know how you're going to bring a new animal into a pen of aggressive animals and there will not be a lot of blood, because they will want to fight that animal. They want to make sure they show that animal that they are the ones here. So, and sometimes I've seen a situation where I brought a new animal to a pen, actually a male, to a pen. The way it dominated the ones that were in that pen was quite surprising. So it happens sometimes on the other side that it may be the one that you bring in that will dominate the ones that were there before. So all these things around irregularity, around maybe them not growing together, it could affect some of these things. So the way to go about those things, one of my advice is that if you know you want to, you should have a plan. You should have a good foresight on how you want your farm animals to stay, to live. It's more like you are like the landlord. So how you want them to coexist together, you should have the plan down. So what you can do is to, when they are small, maybe winners, you can put them together. When at winner stage, they are fighting. They do fight. I've seen winners fighting like crazy also. But I've even had to separate a particular winner when it was so aggressive. And one thing you want to do is you can put them in at a younger age. And please, let me say this: once you are fixing animals that are strange to each other, make sure you are present for at least 24 to 48 hours to monitor what's going on. Don't just put them and leave the place. You may come back and meet a dead animal. Don't just leave them and act like, oh, you have fixed the animal, you are going back home. No, try and monitor the whole situation. Some animals are mild, some animals are of, the way we humans have temperament, they also have temperament. So you may get some animals with a more introvertic and less not choleric temperament, but you could get some that are very, very aggressive. So sometimes you may have to even remove, maybe let's say you bring an animal to these 5 animals here now. The 4 animals may be okay, but it may be one that may not be fine with them, with that new animal. So you may have to remove that one. Maybe you want to maximize your space. You may have to remove that one and fix in that new one, or those 2 new ones, because one animal may be the one that will start causing disputes in that environment. So you have to be very careful, study and make the right management when it comes to all this. So this is why your animals fight, and these are some of the solutions. If you have any other reason why you feel your animals fight that I have not talked about, you can share with us in the comment section below. We have to manage our animals right so that we can get the best results. Alright guys, thank you for joining us in this video. I hope to see you in the next video. Bye bye.